Hey guys, I'm back with my 1 month 1 palette for August and talking about what I'm going to be using for the month of September. So, in case you didn't watch last month or in case you're following along, I had picked 2 smaller palettes to use for this month because I'm kind of at the end of my really large palette, so I'm trying to extend it throughout the year. I do have Urban Decay Naked 2 left, but I'm saving that for a little bit cooler weather. So pretty much all my palettes that are left are a little bit smaller, and I didn't feel like one was enough for the month. So I picked out my Too Faced Boudoir Eyes and my Too Faced Natural Matte. And I knew with this palette I needed a bit of a companion palette, and since this one was new, I hadn't used it for 1 month 1 palette, I figured I would just combine the two. So I will go ahead right now and insert the clips of some of my looks I've used, and then we'll talk about the shades. Okay guys, for my first look, I was just gonna go to meet the teacher tonight, so I wanted to wear something that looked a little nice but not too flashy and pretty neutral. So from the Boudoir Eyes, I did satin sheets all over the lid, which it was kind of patchy and it didn't go on that smoothly, but it was a pretty color. And then on the Natural Matte, I did just nude in the crease because I wanted something pretty light, not a lot of color. And then the Boudoir Eyes, I just used in the buff on the brow bone. I was curious if it was real light, and it worked pretty well. So that is, it's just kind of a like good everyday daytime kind of pulled together look. So okay, today I went ahead and I put Lap Dance all over the lid except for the very inner corner, and then I went in with Birthday Suit and kind of put it a little bit on the inner half. I started in the inner corner and brought it about halfway out. Don't love it. Don't love it. I did also take Sugar Walls and kind of tap it in the middle just to give it a little bit of a sparkle. And then on my Natural Matte palette, I'm sorry, that was the Boudoir Eyes, I took Cashmere Bunny and blended it out in the crease, Heaven on the brow bone. Then I did go back and take a little bit of Nudie, I think, and put it above Cashmere Bunny to kind of give it a little bit more warmth. Great. Not my fave. Okay guys, I'm doing something a little different. Usually I get close to the camera. Today I decided to zoom in, so you'll have to tell me if you like it better this way. I just used the Natural palette this morning to get dressed, and they have these little cards that give you makeup ideas, and I followed the last one, which is the fashion look, but I changed it up a bit. So I used Heaven all over the brow bone, I used Nudie in the crease, Honey Butter on the first half of my lid, and then I went into this on the outer half. It called for the chocolate cookie, but I liked this one because it has a little bit more red. And then when I was done, I went back in and I added a touch of Lace Teddy above the crease to kind of make it a little more seamless. The look did call for putting some on the lower lash line, but I just used a bronzy liner instead. So I don't know how well it's picking up, but I think it's a really pretty warm kind of peachy brown matte eye look, and I like it a lot. Okay, so you saw this clip, so you kind of got a little bit of an impression that I wasn't in love with this palette. So we'll talk about it first. And in case you don't know, I am very partial to my warm colors. Neutrals are okay, but I'm not really a cool person. When I picked up this palette, I saw that it was a lot of taupes, and it looked totally up my speed. I love a taupe color, but I've come to find out that my taupes have to be leaning in the neutral range for me to really like how they look on my eyes, or even borderline warm. The first row has, well, this is the only one that I will say is just a true matte color, but it is very light. This one, it kind of appears matte, but I would describe it as more of a satin. It's not straight up matte to me. And then the garter belt, I think, is pretty much about the same. It may be a matte, but it just has a bunch of shimmer and glitter from all the other shades that it has a hard time picking up the matteness. So this color I wore over my brow bone some, but I really reached for my matte palette. This I thought would be kind of a good flesh tone blending out shade, but the texture of it was so dry and it's so light that it was really hard. This Voulez-Vous, I used to like purple looks, but I don't really anymore. I think I might have stamped it in the outer quarter once, but it didn't impress me. This Satin Sheets, I really do like. I don't know how well it's coming across. It almost has a, I don't want to say duochrome, but kind of, because it's pink, but it looks gold. A lady I watch on YouTube, Makeup Junkie, what are the numbers? I'll try to link her down below. If I'm not mistaken, this is her favorite eyeshadow shade. Her name is Stephanie. And I think she has done, I know she did a video recently showing a dupe of her favorite eyeshadow. If I'm positive, I think this is the one that's her favorite shade. So I may look into getting that dupe that she had featured, because I do really like this shade. But it's kind of, it's just not even, it's not even going to do it justice. But I need to look at MAC All That Glitters. It may kind of serve the same purpose on my eyes, but with a little bit more of a payoff. So I did enjoy that shade, but not enough that I want this palette. Sugar Walls looks like a really pretty taupey mauve, but on my eyes it just almost comes up just glitter chunks. All the color is almost lost in the glitter. Garter Belt is a matte type gray. I don't really get into grays. I don't think I ever even touched it. As is French Tickler, which is, it's like black with some gold glitter. Today is not the day for me to be saying I don't really wear black eyeshadow. I talked about this eye look in my low buy picks for August, if you're curious. But in a lot of the other Too Faced palettes, they have this kind of shade, but it's a dark matte brown with the gold glitter, and I'd rather have that as a kind of shade. Matte, I mean black is not a color I really go for too much. And then this Lap Dance, I thought I would really like it as well, but it is so cool toned on the eye. It just translates awful on my skin tone. And then Birthday Suit is just, it's just almost non-existent in payoff. So overall, the shadows were just kind of dry and didn't have a lot of payoff. And then even the ones that had a better texture were just leaning a little too cool. So overall, the palette just, it just didn't work for me. Like I said, I am going to check, I've already watched her video once before, but now that I know, I may go back and rewatch it and think about picking up the dupe that she had shown for Satin Sheets, because I really like Satin Sheets, but it's just, I don't want to keep this whole palette for that. So, I'm going to pass this on. I do not want it. It is not for me, which is a really big shame, because I don't know, when I purchased it, it just seemed like, ooh, Daleen, Daleen, but it's not. Anyways, now we'll talk about the Too Faced Natural Matte Palette. I'm not going to go too much into detail, because I feel like I've shown you guys this a lot. I've mentioned it in favorites, and it still is a favorite. It was so nice to use with this. And I know another lady here that I've met through YouTube, Jackie, she says that she needs to use warm shades to make this work. But the warm shades to make it work, it wasn't enough to make it work for me. So if you maybe like colors that just are more like a little bit of cool tone, then maybe it would work for you. But to me, it was too icy. That's a good way to put it. So these, I reach for this as my brow bone most days. And then for crease colors, my favorite is Honey Butter, but this is so warm and like peanut butter color, that I felt like it was a little too much for that. So I would reach for Nudie or Cashmere Bunny, because I feel like they're a little more warm neutral, so they kind of went with the colors a little bit more. And I think that was all the colors I ended up using with that. I did use Lace Teddy to blend out the crease a few times just for the heck of it. But this I mainly wanted to use as a companion palette. I wasn't using this mostly as my 1 month one palette. I was trying to use this as the main focus point and this to get through, because I already knew I love this. This is freaking amazing. I don't even like matte shades that much, but this has made me a matte convert, and the shades are so beautiful. I mean, I could wear this all by itself, but I don't even need to. So I may, because I'm actually filming this video a few days before the end of the month, so I think I'm going to try to insert a clip of me doing an all matte look, if that will be okay with y'all. So I will do that, because I do want to feature this on its own, because it is so freaking wonderful. Okay, so for the month of September, I decided to pull 2 kind of like semi-large palettes as well. And a new one I wanted to pull out was my Marc Jacobs Lolita palette, because this is a really pretty palette, but I didn't feel like it really had enough going on that I could use it for the entire month by itself. So you have these 3 matte shades. Perfect. So you have your brow bone, you have your blending out crease, and then you have this darker color if you want to use it as an eyeliner or in the outer corner to darken up a look. Occasionally I pull for one to darken up a look, but not all the time. Then this is pretty much just a chunky glitter shade, but it's kind of a topper. And then the last 3 are just really nice lid colors. This is almost a duochrome. It's a shimmer. This is more of like a mid-tone bronzy, and then this is pulling way more reddish bronze. I don't know how much my lighting is showing them up. This palette really is pretty. It's perfect for a neutral lover. I mean, I probably could look through some of my palettes and see that I have some dupes for this, but I really like the shades. I like the palette. I like the texture, that it's not something I want to get rid of because I do enjoy using it so much. And you could take that on a vacation and have all your bases and be good. So then I decided to pull out my Clinique Neutral Territory 2 palette, because this palette I couldn't use by itself because it doesn't have a single matte color. This is probably going to be hard to show y'all because it's all reflective. This is a super icy white shade. This color is not my favorite, but then you get into some really pretty colors, and then you have Black Honey. These 3 are very soft colors, not anything too in your face. Here's Black Honey, and then this is kind of a purple or dark brown. It's purple. It says dark brown shade of Morning Java Quad. That's funny because it looks purple to me. I don't know how it's picking up on the camera. So anyways, that's what I'm going to use to go along with that. I thought it would give me a few more options because the Lolita palette really only has those 3 shades at the end that you can use as all over lid colors. Now this palette, Hazy and Black Honey, I had a full size of Hazy I think I got rid of, and I have a full size of Black Honey because I had said, oh, I have this palette, but I'm almost wishing I hadn't gotten rid of Hazy, because if those are the only colors I like, then I may want to just keep those. But this will be a good test. And this is a cute little small palette as well. So anyways, those are my picks for this month. I hope you enjoyed this review. I know this is obviously, I think, a lot of people's favorite video that I do. I'm going to continue doing it through the rest of this year. And next year, we'll just have to see how it goes. I may take off January and just use whatever, and then resume in February doing maybe some quads and quints and stuff, because I'm really enjoying it. I think y'all are enjoying it, and I like it as a way to get through some of my stuff and really use it and see if I really like it, because a lot of the stuff I have used and passed on really surprised me, like really surprised me. So anyways, I hope you are enjoying it. And I do have a girl that has the blog. I've mentioned her below. I've mentioned her in other videos. I'll link her blog below so you can go read it and see what she's using, because it's kind of fun to read hers as well. I'm enjoying it. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.